comparison will steal your gratitude because you're chasing after someone else's version of success. Not everyone is meant to grow with you. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi bestie, and if you're a returning subscriber, you already know I love you so much. So guys, welcome to my 5-part series on surviving your 20s, where we talk about all the things no one warns you about. I decided to start this series because honestly, I have been thinking a lot about life in our 20s. You know, sometimes our 20s can be very beautiful, but also very confusing. And sometimes it feels like no one is really saying the truth out loud. I honestly just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys, you know, to share the things I have learned, the mistakes I have made, and the things I'm still working through. I know I'm not alone in this. So let's talk, let's grow, and let's learn together. Okay, guys? So today we're starting with something major, which is the silent traps of your 20s, and which can literally ruin your 20s if you're not careful. And let me just say this. I'm in my early 20s too, so I'm not here to act like I have it all figured out. In fact, some of these traps, I've fallen into them myself. The only difference is that I am aware of them and I'm actively working on avoiding them. But I know there are lots of people out there that don't even know that these traps even exist. And that's why we're talking about them today. So yeah, let's get into it. So let's start with the one that's probably the most relatable, which is the comparison trap. To be honest, I think we've all been there. You know, you're just scrolling through social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and you see someone living their best life. You know, they've got the dream job, they've got the perfect relationship, the aesthetic lifestyle, and you're just here existing, right? So trust me, I really understand, because sometimes I'm just on social media platforms as well, and I'm just minding my business. And the next thing, I see someone spending money like it's water, or traveling abroad like it's just one quick trip down the road, like it's nothing, you know. And in that moment, I just tell God, I see what you're doing for others. Please don't forget me. Don't forget your baby girl, please. But at the end of the day, I try to remind myself that everyone is moving at their own pace and we're not the same. That person's journey is not mine. I'm not in their shoes and I'm not meant to be. I have my own story, my own timing, and my own part, and that is completely okay. Because here's the thing, social media is just the highlight reel. Nobody is posting their bad days, the nights they cry themselves to sleep, their silent battles, and that's just the truth. And it's okay to admire the things you see on social media, right? It's okay to say, wow, I did love that for myself too. But when you start comparing yourself to that person, that's when the joy starts to disappear. Because I have noticed that comparison will steal your gratitude. It will make you blind to the blessings of your own life. No matter what you achieve in this life, it will never feel like it's enough because you're chasing after someone else's version of success. So instead of falling into that trap, ask yourself questions like, are you growing? Are you learning? Are you becoming a better version of yourself? Because honestly, that's what really matters. Now, just as comparing yourself to others can make you feel behind, there is another trap that's just as dangerous, which is the I have time trap. This one is tricky because it feels harmless. You know that thing where you keep saying, I'll do it later. I still have time. Don't worry, I'm still young. Time moves very fast. Before you know it, months has passed, then years, and you're still in the same spot. And you realize you've just been postponing your dreams, your goals, your growth. Because the hardest truth to accept is that time doesn't wait for anyone. And those things that you keep saying you will do someday won't just magically happen until you take action. I mean, think about it. We just entered 2025, you guys. And now we're already in July. Like how? Time is flying. And we're already in the second half of the year. And before you know it, this year will be over. Right? So that's why I'm telling you this right now. Don't wait till everything is perfect. And I'm saying this as someone who still struggles with this. because I like when things are very perfect. I like to wait till when it's perfect. I like when things are just right. And sometimes I catch myself waiting for the perfect time or the perfect setup before I start doing something. And I've realized that waiting for perfection can hold you back. It slows you down and keeps you stuck, you know? And I'm not saying don't do your best, but sometimes the best thing that you can do is to just start. Let me use myself as an example. This year, I told myself I wanted to start my YouTube channel, and I actually did. Now, I'm not where I want to be yet, not even close, right? But the most important thing here is that I took the first step. I started. I told myself I was going to take YouTube seriously this year. And even if I'm still growing, at least I'm doing it, right? So if there's something you've been planning to do, just start. Even if it's just a small step, just start. Trust me, future you will thank you. Okay? And then there is this trap that seems like progress, but really isn't. And which is hustling without purpose trap. You know, we live in a time where everyone is shouting, hustle, oh, hustle. But let me ask you something. What are you working towards? Are you building something meaningful? Or are you just being busy for the sake of being busy? There are lots of people who work so hard, but they never move forward because they are being busy, but not productive. Because I've realized that you can hustle all day, but if you don't have a direction, you just end up burnt out and frustrated. You know, I've seen people finish uni and they just rush into jobs, not because it aligns with their goals, but because they just don't want anyone to say that they came out of school and they're not doing anything. They work every day, but if you ask them what's next, they have no clue. You know, they don't even know what they're working towards. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should just sit at home doing nothing, because I know that life is not always very straightforward, especially in this country. You know, sometimes you just have to take what is available, right? But even at that, have a plan. Ask yourself questions like, where is this thing taking me to? What am I building for myself? Because hustling without direction is just noise, honestly. Even if it's not your dream yet, let what you're doing be a stepping stone towards it, right? Because you owe it to yourself to move with intention, not pressure. Because I used to think that the harder I work, the more successful I did be. But I've realized that working smart is way more better than working hard. Because you can be busy all day and still be stuck in the same place. Yes. So instead of hustling blindly, ask yourself questions like, what's the bigger picture from here? What's my end goal? You have to move with purpose. Now, let's slide into the one that has been messing with a lot of us, which is the fear of failing trap. How many times have you wanted to start something? Maybe a business, a passion project, content creation, or even to just go for that job interview. And then you start having this feeling of fear and you start questioning yourself like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What will people say? Look, I get it. But the truth is, failure is part of success. And that is what I have come to realize. Because the only way to truly fail is to never even try. I'll say that again. The only way to truly fail is to never even try. So, babes, you won't get very far in life if you're too shy to be seen trying. Because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It flops, okay? But did you die? No, exactly. You're still here, still that girl, right? See, failure is not the end. It's part of the journey. Start that business, pitch that idea, because playing small to avoid embarrassment, that's not your portion, sis. Before starting my YouTube channel, I also felt this feeling of fear in me. I kept asking myself, is this thing going to work out? Like, is anybody going to watch me? Am I going to grow? You know, but seriously, the love here, the kind of support I have received so far from families, loved ones, you know, friends, even strangers, you guys, even strangers, people that I don't know from anywhere. They just watch my video, they subscribe to my channel, they support me. And honestly, I am very grateful. I'm very, very grateful. So yeah, Just start. Just do that thing that you want to do. Sometimes it seems scary before you start, but once you do, you realize it wasn't even as bad as you thought. So yeah, take the risks. Just do it. Just do that thing that you've always wanted to do. Okay? And you might not have realized this yet, but this next trap is one of the biggest, which is the wrong people trap. Your 20s are when you start to realize that the people that you surround yourself with can either elevate you or drain you. If you're always around negative, toxic, or unmotivated people, it will start affecting you, whether you realize it or not. And this applies to relationships, friendships. I have realized that not everyone is meant to grow with you. You don't owe anyone a long life access to you, especially if that friendship or relationship is very negative, very toxic. You're not, pushed to be a better person. Then it's of no use. It's okay to outgrow friendships. It's okay to set boundaries. You need to choose your circle wisely because energy is contagious. You need to surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, and push you to be better. Trust me, if you have good friends or you have a good partner, it would help you to become better. It would shape you into being a better person. They would shape your mindset and help you grow. And oh my goodness, this next one, I have personally fallen into it too many times, and which is the I have to have it all figured out trap. I don't know how many people can relate to this. That feeling where it feels like you're running out of time. Yeah, like that feeling where it feels like you have not achieved what you want yet, and time is just running, or time is just moving so fast, and it feels like you're getting older day by day. You're just getting older and older. That feeling where you thought that by a certain age you would have attained a certain height, right? But seriously though, let's get one thing straight. Nobody has their life all figured out. Even the people who look like they do, those people you're admiring, they're still figuring things out behind the scenes. Yes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody has it all figured out. I have realized that your 20s are for learning, for exploring, and yes, making mistakes. You don't have to have the perfect plan right now. You just need to keep moving forward. So trust the process. Take one step at a time. You're not late. You're exactly where you're meant to be. All right? And finally, let's end with a trap that most people don't even realize that they are in, and which is avoiding responsibility trap. It's easy to blame circumstances, your parents, the economy, bad luck for why life isn't going how you want. Like those things that you really want and it's not just working out. There are a lot of things that you might want and it's not working out. You're just blaming you're probably blaming your parents for it. You're blaming bad luck, you're blaming the country, you're blaming the economy. Trust me, I understand perfectly, because some things are just out of our control. Like there are so many things that are out of our control. So I totally understand. But one thing I know is that at the end of the day, your life is in your hands. When I started taking responsibilities for my choices, things changed. And instead of sitting around waiting for life to happen to me, I decided to start creating the life I wanted for myself. And you can too. I know it's not easy. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes you just want things to just go like how you've planned it already. Yeah, I get. So please stop sitting and waiting for everything to happen. Start creating the life that you want. Start now. Okay? Now remember this, guys. Your 20s aren't about having it all figured out. They are for growing, learning, and becoming a better version of you. All right? So be aware, stay intentional, and most importantly, live on your own terms. Okay? So those are the 7 traps that could be messing up your 20s without you even realizing it. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Which of these traps have you fallen into, or which one could you relate to so well? Or maybe you've escaped one? Please share it in the comments so that we can learn together. Also, don't forget this is just the first part of my 5-part series on surviving your 20s. So please make sure to turn on your post notification and please subscribe, guys, so that you don't miss the next one. All right, love. See you in my next video. Bye.